Good morning. Good morning. Hello from snowy Montana. It's 24 degrees out and we have like 4 inches of snow and ongoing for this week. I guess we're getting some of that Pacific Northwest storm. So glad you're here. Thank you. If you're brand new to the channel, I do this once a week, and I've got this amazing community of people that like to talk in the ongoing chat and in the comments. So welcome. Glad you've joined us, and jump right in there. Also, make sure you like and subscribe to this so that you can do some updates, because as things go along, I may be doing some more updates. Who knows? Okay, so let's just jump in there. We're going to start with the solar activity. And notice that it's been in that mid to high C class and low M class, M1, M2. I think the highest one for the week was an M3. We've had a consistent, one, well, more like 2 or 3 M classes up to about 5 or 6 per day. And again, they're still staying in that M1, 2, or 3. So for those of you who don't know what those class signifies, go back over some of my previous videos where we talked about what a C class, what an M class, and an X class is, okay? Because I would love to have you kind of catch up. So we've also had a long duration, a really long duration on the 11th, right? Let's see, that would be Monday on the full moon, right? So that was an M2, M2.05, and it just sort of held, and it held, and it held, and it sort of vibrated things along. There's been, as I said, multiple flares a day, and we've been going in and out of the, what do I want to say? The unsettled KP. So the KP index goes from 0 to I think it's 7, maybe 9, and it's been hanging out at up to about 3. So it's just been letting us know that things are sort of bumping around, which we know. And then last week on November 19th, Pluto shifted out of Capricorn, thank goodness, left the 29 degrees and put us into Aquarius. So I don't know what you experienced. I sort of felt like new energy was coming in, something different, because the planet of let's go to Pluto. Pluto's the planet of dying to your old ways, digging up the things that are old and buried. It's about self-awareness, and it's about transformation. So, it's like the more we have self-knowledge, the more we have this awareness, the more we realize what we no longer need, right? Then what we end up doing is Pluto's now going from Capricorn, where it was digging up all the physical stuff from 2008, into Aquarius for the next 20 years. So Aquarius is an air sign. It's fixed. It's about society, technology. And then when you look to the traditional astrology, it's in the 11th house. And the 11th house, to me, is always understood. I've always understood it as like the tribe. Who, we go through ninth in education and travel. We go through 10th communication with Capricorn. We get to Aquarius, and it's like, so who are your people? Who are your tribe on this earth that are not from your family, but the people that see you and support you and resonate with you? So that's where we're in right now. It's our Pluto's bringing that up, right? So Aquarius is a water carrier. She brings water down through her body onto the earth. So sometimes she has a carrier, sometimes it's coming in a bucket, in this card up above her, and then flowing down through her hair, through her body, and coming out onto the ground. So she brings water onto the earth, considering that we're 92% water, I think it is. It's pretty amazing that that this is the vehicle for water, the vehicle for emotions, and we're also in that society growth. We're also in that change, right? So what I'm going to say is that as we've been moving towards Pluto, as we've been moving forward into this Aquarius age, what we're looking at is our sentient skills are coming online. And you've heard me say this before. I'm saying that they're really coming online now, right? This is where they're coming online rapidly, and we have a curiosity, we have a desire to learn these skills. We're asking. It was interesting. I had a conversation with a fellow coach of mine and good friend, and she was saying that in her practice, and I've been hearing this as well, is that we're shifting out of the idea of production and into development, and I'm going to say sentient development. They want to know about intuition. We want to learn more about what are these energies I'm feeling and how come, and what do I do with those, right? So all of these skills of ours are invisible, and they're coming to the surface. And I'm going to say finally, because I have been working in the realm of invisible energy and reading and tracking and experiencing it since I was a young girl. So, I, as a coach, as a teacher, as a guide, as whatever you want to call it, right? I've been working with high levels of sensitivity. Our ability to read rooms and people and energy systems are, are, what do I want to say? Are, our use of all of our senses, right? And gathering information with those and saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing. And the most curious is that over the last 10 years, it was like, well, how do you know that? And I was like, because I read this and this is what it is. And I'm noticing now people are becoming much more aware. Each of you is becoming much more aware that you have this invisible information that's coming in all the time. And it started with how we're tracking these flares because we can't see them. All we can do is notice what's going on in our body, right? Makes sense. So we use these skills, these new skills of ours to view our world. It makes sense. We're going to look at our society. We're going to look at, and as Astro Butterfly put it so beautifully, when Pluto goes into Aquarius, we will discover what's rotten in our society. So we spent the last 16 years looking at what's rotten, what's not working, what's decaying, what needs to transform, what needs to change in our physicality in our 3D. Now we're looking at our society. How do we hold things together as tribes, as families, as governments, as a collective, right? And how do we use ourselves and our culture and our world with this new information that's coming online, these senses, right? It's so much fun. It's something I'm, as you can tell, pretty excited about and been waiting a long time to have. And it's just in time because we're entering this repetitive cultural holiday season. And if you know me, you know that I'm going to hit it hard by about mid-November and look at, how we gather in families, how um, we work with or are influenced by media on how our homes should be decorated, how we should do gifts, what kind of parties we should have, and sort of it just gets to this point where that production part is really, really pushed hard. Our production during the holidays it's exhausting and it's never ending because if you have children, if you have work responsibilities, if you have school responsibilities, if you have these things that are from the outside constantly pushing on you, like, this is what we're going to do over the holidays, this is what we're going to do over the holidays, we take our lives and we pretty much put them on hold from the minute that we go into the American Thanksgiving here in the States, is primarily what I'm focused on. And we just start jumping into this holiday season, whether it's religious celebrations, whether it's cultural celebrations, whether it's um, uh, marketing induced, right? What happens is that we're pushed to buy, right? We're pushed to buy, even in a period of a voice that we used in the election constantly was that we need the economy price, we need the pricing to come back down, we need the inflation to stop. But we're still being pushed to buy nonstop. I've noticed that the Black Friday sales used to start on Wednesday or Thursday. Now it's like Black Friday week. Hey, please buy some shit from us. We need you to start your Christmas shopping early. I'm like, okay. We are pushed to gather. We are, whether it's traditional modes, whether it's our parents, it's celebrations, our religious needs, it's like, hey, you need to be here and we need to do this, right? We're pushed to adhere to the outdated mechanisms that have been in place, like from our grandparents, from our parents, and then onto us. It's like, what are we duplicating? What are we what do we need to put down and do ourselves? Because we're pulling, all of these things are pulling at our emotions, and they're sort of giving us a lot of guilt. So I wanted to look at this card, which is what happens when you are trying really hard to keep your balance and deal with all of this incoming water into you, right? The Four of Cups, and you have all of these external voices, sort of chattering at you, trying to like to influence you. What do you do when you get really overwhelmed and you're not sure? Am I talking? Is the old me talking? Is the new me talking? How can I read this person because it's all swirled and I'm overwhelmed, right? This is my favorite. It's not my favorite card. I don't like this card in Osho, but it's my favorite card to put up for this, which is what happens when the faces we put on aren't really the faces we are. And we do this nonstop in November, December, every year. So it's kind of like, this is politics. This is a Seven of Swords. What happens when all these veils that we carry are held in place, right? So this is what we're going into. And remember, we're carrying all of these emotions now. And so, and we have these solar flares that are sort of bumping us around and saying, like, you got some stuff to do, you got some work to do, and we're now going to guide you through the holidays with all of your senses awake, and you get to decide, how am I going to navigate on all of this, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so Thanksgiving here in the United States is on the 28th. And as I said, we go right straight into December. And if you listen to Lee Harris, he's saying that there's an enormous burst of energy coming in at the end of November, and that's going to just pick us up and fly us through December. So just know that there's a lot of triggers that are going on, and a lot of these kinds of consistent M1, M2, M3 towers that are going like, are you paying attention to all of this? Because as this energy is rising, it's going to cut through what no longer works or serves us. It's going to address our resonance, right? It's going to take us to, how are you matching yourself with the environment? How are you using your sentient skills? Okay. So I have five tips for you. And I'm going to break 1 second before I start those, just to say that this is the best time to identify, what is it that you need? What kind of perspective, what kind of tools, what kind of approaches are going to work for me as I go into this American Thanksgiving holiday, as I go into our Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, all of these celebrations, the work parties, the everything, right? And I'm going to say the answer is tarot, because tarot's a way to objectively look at the cards and go, so what do you think that means to you, and why is this here? So I'm just going to do that plug. I'm a good tarot reader, and I'm having a blast doing this kind of work right now, which is going to the broad question, like, help me understand what it is that I'm being asked to work on right now. Okay. And we'll play with that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that there's a discussion group on Tuesday, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. There's a link below that you can either sign up through my Acuity scheduler, or you can go and join my Patreon. So either way, it's a way to support me for the work I do, and a way to gather with this community. So thank you. Okay. Tip number 1. Remember at all times that you are experiencing energy. At all times, energy is coming in and working with you. You get to decide what you're going to do. How does your body feel? How are you going to how am I going to take the information it's sending me? What happens when all of this sparkly energy, sort of sparkly, maybe it felt energy affects you? You can choose to ignore it. You can medicate it, like a lot of people do over the holidays. You can medicate it with what? Shopping, alcohol, drugs. Um, what else? What do you do to distract yourself? Screens. Or you can listen to it and you can adapt. It's your choice. These energies, as they're increasing more substantially, as we continue to have this kind of energy and this kind of energy coming into you, right? I love these visuals. Then what we have to do is we have the opportunity to experience the energy and choose what are we going to do with it, right? Number two, you're going to be expect you're going to be challenged to on one of two fronts, react or respond. Your body, your nervous system is going to want to react. It's like, oh, I don't know what to do with that, right? I don't know what to do when I'm feeling like I can't even get on the same page with this other human, right? And so when we're in that and our emotions are being triggered, what happens is that we're going to be gathering with people with opinions and agendas. They're going to be stuck. They're going to be rigid. Their resonance isn't. There's going to be dissonance. It's not going to work with you. You're going to be very incongruent all of a sudden with a lot of people around you and places and things because your energy is shifting and changing too. So what we do is we go to response, which is to breathe in, calm our energy system down, calm our nervous system down, and choose what warrants our response to it. And I like that term, what warrants my response? What do I need to say? And what do I say that puts me in a leadership role of my own body, my own energy? That's number two. So you're going to be challenged. Just know that. Number three, trust yourself. Trust your ability to calm down your system, not to take the bait. Remember in the couple of videos back, not to take that hook, to choose, you know, what really works well for you and to what matches your energy with your words and to navigate this energy the best way you can. So in some ways that may be that you are going to say, I went and I'm walking away and I'm done. In other ways, you're going to be looking at something like, where is it? This one. I'm ready and I get to choose when I enter and when I leave and on my own terms and how I work with this, right? And I love this Osho Wheel of Fortune because it's really chaotic on the outside. And as you get closer and closer and closer, there's this balance of the elements and the stillness inside, which is what we are looking at. This is how you trust yourself to be able to navigate into this inner center where you can trust yourself. You know what's going on, you know what your skill sets are, and you navigate the best way you know how. And every time you do it, you're going to get better at it. You're not going to be great the first time because we're all learning how to do this, right? Number four, face. Let's see. Face the external messages, the external pressures that are coming to you that are going to be about performance or about production. Hey, like you didn't even really dress your kids up for the holidays. What clothes you wear, what your external presentation is, what you bring, what you don't bring, how you decorate your house. These are all those things that, God, I hope we left those behind in Pluto. I don't know. But what we want to do is we want to focus on the energy. We want to focus on the beauty of the energy, right? And we want to just disregard the idea that I'm in a production mode. I'm in a performance mode there. I'm not acceptable unless I do this, right? So what we want to do is we want to face those external messages and go, yeah, I'm not doing that. Not for me. Now, some of us are really good at that and we've been practicing it for a long time. Others of us are going to be starting a really brand new way of working with form in what we do with it. I love how this one has little roots growing down out of it, right? And number five, remember, the energies are increasing, right? And as they're increasing and we hold this calm and curiosity, we also hold compassion for what falls away and asks us to move on. We sort of think about it and we hold this compassion like I have to choose this one and I have to sort of let those other ones go, right? I have to choose to walk away. I have to choose to put, where's the really good one I'm looking for? This one. The real me start to emerge, right? And that requires compassion for you, compassion for the people around you, compassion for the way that people are freaking out when you don't do what you've normally done. So we're in this flex, we're in this period of change. So I will see you next week, either in the discussion on Tuesday or next Sunday post US Thanksgiving. And I hope that you are grateful and thankful for all you've encountered. And I am so grateful and thankful for you. You take care. Bye-bye.